Hi, everybody. It is still December 15, 2019. Oh, the sludge of lies. Keeps getting sludgier. And the stench of hypocrisy. Oof. Well, it's all over. It's obvious. And yeah. Well, let's go through the do as I say, not as I do crowd. CBS News touts going meatless after 2030 to avoid climate crisis. Yes, we need to by 2030 hit peak meat, or we will find ourselves with ecological disaster. Yes, that is what the scientists say. 50 scientists recommend setting 2030 as the peak year for meat consumption. All right. And this was reported in a letter published in the Lancet Planetary Health magazine, propaganda magazine. The letter was aimed at richer countries that consume more meat because of climate change and used that to take a shot at American consumption. Americans eat 42% more meat, eggs, and nuts than nutritionists recommend. That's according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, while eating just 3/4 of the recommended amount of vegetables and less than half the recommended amount of fruit. And our diet does, well, leave much to be desired. Our diet would be much, much better if we didn't have our food supply taken over by genetically modified organisms. If those vegetables and fruit, I'd be buying them up a storm. If they, were those natural fruits and vegetables that we used to eat. So, yeah, there's a hefty carbon footprint due to animal husbandry. The UN report claiming that raising animals for slaughter accounts for almost 15% of greenhouse gas emissions globally. CBS did not report that the total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions in 2017 reached their lowest levels since 1992, and that's according to the final Environmental Protection Agency greenhouse gas inventory. And it stands to reason that our greenhouse gas emissions would be going down, considering we have very little manufacturing taking place here in our good old US of A. All right, so get rid of meat. Stop eating meat. Go meatless. COP25, the United Nations Climate Change Conference that was held in Madrid. Attendees grab grub at Burger King? What? At Burger King? Okay. Yeah. All right, let's watch this video, which is on YouTube here. United Nations Environment Program warned in November 2018 that meat production is one of the most destructive ways in which we leave our footprint on the planet. And they encouraged consumers to eat less meat. So that was in 2018, but they have been ringing this alarm bell for many, many years. All right, well, let's watch this news report from COP25.
Mr. Ford, you said you've flown up the coast for a cheeseburger. What changes have you made in your personal life to fight climate change? You flew up the coast to get a cheeseburger, you said. You frequently do. What's your comment?
I'm a vegetarian now, thank you.
Now, okay. We're here outside the United Nations Climate Summit in Madrid, and we see a lot of vegan, don't eat meat, be vegan, go green, save the planet. Here you see, please don't eat meat, with a picture of a cow and a pig. There's only one problem. Inside is a thriving Burger King inside the delegation that is constantly packed and serving nothing but meat.
How dare you!
They don't even offer Burger King's fake meat substitute, the Impossible Burger. It's impossible to include that here at the UN Climate Summit, as UN delegates gobble up cows inside at the Burger King. One other question, there's a Burger King here at the summit. Do you have any comment on that? It's lined up with people buying hamburgers. The UN says eating meat is dangerous. No comment? We're here at the United Nations Climate Summit in Madrid. This year, the United Nations issued a report warning of the dangers of eating meat. Other people have warned that eating meat is like pointing a loaded gun at the planet. Well, United Nations climate delegates, thousands of them, have been lining up here at the Burger King on site, here at the United Nations Summit. What gives? Are they practicing what they're preaching? We've checked. This Burger King does not have the Impossible Burger or the fake meat burger.
How dare you!
Only offering cows, actual beef. United Nations climate activists have a lot to answer for. Should they have a Burger King here, Mr. Flynn?
No answer. No answer. Well, here. Well, actually, let me go here first. This is the United Nations climate change. It's on the United Nations website. A taste of sustainability food and catering at COP23. Not 25, not the most recent. COP23. What do they say? The organizers of COP23 are walking the talk. The conference will be made sustainable to the greatest possible extent. 25,000 participants, and all of them need to eat and drink. This means a lot of meals and potentially a high carbon footprint just from catering alone. We are keen to ensure that catering at the conference is environmentally friendly. That is why we chose to offer mainly vegetarian food and only certified fish and organic meat. When it comes to food, the highest carbon footprint comes from meat. So, why are you serving meat? 60% of the food, vegetarian, which means 40% is not vegetarian. Okay, well, COP21 in Paris 2 years ago, we had a percentage of 30% vegetarian food. So you're doing better, you climate change loons who demand that, well, not only should you not eat meat, you should eat bugs and your pets. And you have to eat crap. You have to eat food that doesn't sustain your health. You know, those genetically modified foods. But here at the COP, the climate change conferences, wow, they somehow are always held in very luxurious areas of the world. And wow, their menus are quite upscale. And they go organic. Oh, not the kind of organic that you and I, well, wonder in the supermarket when we look at something that says organic, and then we go, is it really organic, or are they just lying to us? All meat and seafood dished up at COP23 must be organic. It must be organic. And just look at these breads. well, makes you hungry. All right. They have the best foods, the best fruits, the best vegetables, while you and I now have a whole lot of crap to eat. Plastic and foods made of plastic, rice, eggs. I mean, now it's like a full-time job just to try to find some decent food. Well, the meat that they served, let's see, sentient media, sorry. There's meat on the menu at the UN Climate Change Conference. That should scare you. COP24. Oh, this is COP24. Okay. Let's see. The climate cost of COP24's menu is wildly irresponsible. Meat offered at the conference generates 4 times the amount of greenhouse gas emissions, assuming that all 30,000 attendees choose meat over plant-based menu items. The 2-week conference will burn the equivalent of 500,000 gallons of gasoline in greenhouse gases. The Center for Biological Diversity, Farm Forward, and Brighter Green estimate that a conference-wide shift from meat to plant-based patties would cut each burger's carbon footprint by 82%. So why aren't they doing it? Why wait? Oh my God. The Earth, the planet, destroyed in 10, 12 years. And they're still serving meat. The conference responsible for discussing global frameworks for climate mitigation served beef with smoked bacon for lunch. Cabbage and mushroom dumplings, also on the menu, cost the climate a whopping 35 times less carbon. Why they chose to serve beef? Why they chose to serve beef and not plant-based burgers completely escapes anyone who was remotely paying attention when a consensus of 91 intergovernmental panel on climate change scientists from 40 countries said, if we want to save the planet, we all need to eat less meat. Cheeseburger, beef with smoked bacon, sauerkraut. All right. The meat-laden menu at COP24 is an insult to the work of the conference that Stephanie Feldstein, director of the Population and Sustainability Program at the Center for Biological Diversity. We can't afford to be serving up cheeseburgers at climate conferences if we're going to have an honest conversation about the role of food in the climate crisis. Yeah. And what's Al Gore eating? Really? You think he's not chomping on those cheeseburgers? If they really believed that the planet was just going to end in 10, 12 years or whenever they claim it's going to end, well, they wouldn't be eating meat. If they claim that meat is, that we got to get rid of because that carbon footprint is so heavy. What the hell is wrong with people? How can they not see that we have serious hypocrites all over the place? All right, well, I just want to throw in that we have here 129 climate scandals, if anybody wants to check them out. Don't know if they're up to date, but yeah, the scandals come from the IPCC's fraudulent climate change data. And how about 100 plus papers that prove that the IPCC's claim about CO2 is false? Oh, these are like real scientists, by the way. Real. Not the fake ones on the IPCC. And also, just in case you didn't know, and this was a while ago, but Hal Lewis, Professor Hal Lewis, top American professor, has quit a prestigious academic body after claiming that global warming has become a scam driven by trillions of dollars, which has corrupted science. Corrupted scientists. His revulsion at one of those scandals, the ClimateGate emails, well, he quit the, what is it, the American Physical Society, after nearly 70 years of being a member. He's not the only one to resign from the American Physical Society due to their position on climate change and global warming. He claims that the American Physical Society, the Society for America's top physicists, has refused to engage in proper scientific debate about climate change and ignored climate skeptics. Oh, well, I threw that in because I have never mentioned Hal Lewis. Let's see, there are nominations open for the world's greatest climate hypocrite. Over the last year, the ability of our climate-aware friends to hop from the ski slopes to the protest march, from the business class lounge to the barricades, has been an endless source of entertainment. Remember Zoe Jones from Extinction Rebellion? She returned from holidays in Uganda, New Zealand, and the Alps to blockade a major thoroughfare in Bristol, infamously preventing people from getting to the hospital. We're doing the right thing, she opined. Another Extinction Rebellion supporter, Professor Jem Bendel of the University of Cumbria, who enjoys regular trips to Bali and is also a visiting professor at institutions in Australia, Spain, Kenya, and Switzerland. Indeed, the hypocrisy of the environmental movement is now so all-encompassing that it is starting to move from the domain of amusing anecdote to that of serious scientific consensus. Here at the Global Warming Policy Forum, we don't like to let this achievement on this scale go unrecognized. And with that in mind, we are launching an annual award to find the person who has most brazenly failed to practice what they preach, the person whose brass neck truly makes them stand out from the green crowd. Our paper launching the awards can be read here, and in it you'll find details of how you can nominate your favorite eco-hypocrite and some of the possible frontrunners. Nominations closed 2 days ago. Oh well. Sorry, but check it out. Go here. Find out who the winner is. Who the winner is. Because we have a lot of them. A whole lot of them. And it's really hard to take Prince Harry. Eco anxiety leaves me struggling to get out of bed. Really? Really, Prince? You're struggling to get out of bed because of climate change? He might look like he's got it made. A vast personal fortune, a beautiful wife, celebrity friends, and easy access to their fleet of private jets. Most of his own hair. Oh, and he's got free food. And do you think he's a vegetarian? I don't think so. But don't let these outward trappings of privilege and good fortune fool you into thinking that the private life of Prince Harry conforms with his happy-go-lucky exterior. That's right. No, he is so crushed by the state of the planet that he sometimes struggles to get out of bed in the morning. It's that existential fear that haunts the prince. Yes, a surprising revelation. In a conversation with an 18-year-old South African student who was a guest at one of the many engagements Harry and Meghan are attending during their tour of Africa, Harry said that he often woke up and felt overwhelmed by too many problems in the world, and that sometimes it's hard to get out of bed in the morning because of all the issues. He wanted to use this platform to enable grassroots change and try to create a better society. Yeah, because you royals, you have just, wow, so much compassion. And you're right there trying to make the world a better place. How about all those trips in private jets? Oh, how about all of those luxury cars and those SUVs that you take, Harry? But you're so concerned. Al Gore busted about private jet use. Yeah. Well, he's got that private jet addiction. And he just likes to drive around, fly around. Because the world's coming to an end. So what the hell? I'm just going to leap on my private jet. Al Gore commemorates Earth Day by using private jet to write Save the Planet. Is this a joke? I thought it was a joke. But I don't think it's a joke. Yeah, Al Gore took to the skies in a private jet to write Save the Planet in the sky. Gore flew from coast to coast, writing that message in the sky above dozens of metropolitan areas in a courageous move to ask people to stop burning jet fuel, gasoline, and other carbon-emitting products. I just want to call everybody else, not me, of course, but the rest of the country, to take action before it's too late. Well, he clearly didn't say that. Yeah, in his luxury jet. Am I on one of those, satire websites? Because I looked into it and there are actually other articles about this. Well, this is true. Al Gore's inconvenient reality, the former vice president's home energy use surges up to 34 times the national average, despite costly green renovations. Yes, his Nashville mansion. These are the people who are dictating to us how we have to live. They fly in private jets. They have their cars telling us that we've got to go electric. This guy eats a lot of meat, come on. And his home energy use, 34 times the national average. Oh, Bloomberg, yeah. This guy whose wealth estimates $54 billion has a fleet of private jets and helicopters. A fleet of private jets and helicopters. And do you think that he is chauffeured around in a hybrid little car? God. Bloomberg would jet to his $10 million Bermuda mansion in his $42 million Dassault Falcon 900 private plane about twice a month on the weekends while he was the mayor of New York City. Okay. The private jet generates an estimated 37 times more carbon emissions than the same trip on a commercial flight. His Augusta Westland AW-109 helicopter burns a jaw-dropping 72 gallons of fuel every hour. Wow. Well, I guess you're just going to have to look into buying an electric helicopter and electric private jets, Bloomberg. Because, wow, you're in there with that climate change, global warming crap. Oh, there's so much. So much. Check out the fancy jet Hillary Clinton flew in after she gave a global warming speech. You go, girl. Yeah, you ain't a hypocrite. Okay. The private jet burns 347 gallons of fuel per hour. Nancy Pelosi. Queen Pelosi wasn't happy with the small USAF C-20B jet Gulfstream 3 that comes with the speaker's job. Oh no, Queen Pelosi was aggravated that this little jet had to stop to refuel, so she ordered a big fat 200-seat U.S. Air Force C-32 Boeing 757 jet that could get her back to California without stopping. Queen Nancy's big fat jet costs the American people, the hardworking American taxpayer, literally thousands of gallons of fuel every week. She works 3 days a week. This gas-guzzling jet gets fueled, and she flies home to California every Friday and returns every Monday at a cost to the taxpayer, you and me, $60,000 one way. So she's got to come back, so it's $60,000 again. It's $120,000 for one trip, round trip. It's $480,000 per month. Annual cost $5,760,000. Queen Pelosi wants you and me to conserve our carbon footprint. She wants us to buy smaller cars. Obama wants us to get a bicycle pump and air up our tires. Their motto, do as I do. No, don't do as I do. Just do as I say. A-listers flock to Google summit in private jets, mega yachts, to talk climate change. Yeah, Google Camp, to discuss the threat of climate change while communing with some of the wealthiest tech entrepreneurs in the world, to a posh seaside resort. Many guests, Obama, DiCaprio, Katy Perry, Bradley Cooper, Mark Zuckerberg, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, arriving to the multi-day fest and climate discussion via private jets and mega yachts. Yeah, okie dokie. Others were to arrive via helicopter from the Italian mainland. More than 114 private jets were reported to have been expected at nearby Palermo Airport, where camp guests would be transported to the resort by van. Mega yachts docked at a nearby beach were reported to belong to designer Diane von Furstenberg, German pharmaceutical giant Udo Vetter, Google's Eric Schmidt, New Zealand tycoon Graham Hart, and American billionaire David Geffen. So AOC says we have 10 to 12 years left before the Earth implodes due to climate change. But the A-listers, they seem to be so concerned, but they're flying their private jets. They're eating the best foods. They're on their mega yachts. They're living a life that only we can dream of. And they dictate to us how we should be living. This guy, the Google camp. All right, let's read some of this. 114 private jets. Here's one of the yachts. The jets, this would release some 784 tons of CO2 emissions into the air. Of all the ways to combat climate change, inviting a ton of movie stars to Sicily doesn't exactly sound like the most efficient. The Times. Vanity Fair. The private jet thing definitely doesn't look great. Not great optics. The Irish Independent. The woke glitterati in their echo chamber of privilege. On social media, people called the move hypocritical, counterintuitive. Are these folks going to push for a global law to be passed to ban use of private jets in polluting mega yachts? The pet project of DiCaprio's is an eco resort in Belize, has also experienced local pushback. The luxury vacation destination, due to open next year, will help restore the island's damaged ecosystem. That's what Leonardo said. Environmental groups and experts, however, have questioned whether such a project can really be environmentally friendly. Building an exclusive resort for the wealthy on an uninhabited island isn't the answer to climate change, biodiversity, and pollution. Wow. Paris climate talks will emit 300,000 tons of CO2. UN global warming talks take place at luxurious private jet airport. Yeah. 3,000 journalists, tens of thousands of people flying to these luxurious areas, getting off their private jets, eating Burger King, and we are. And these are the people who are scaring the shit out of the children. How to fly a climate change summit in a CO2 spewing private jet. Okay, this was another summit organized by none other than Jerry Brown. 2015, Brown flew with real estate mega millionaire, major Democratic Party donor George Marcus on his private jet to a climate change conference at the Vatican. Next year, the Go Green governor jetted off with Marcos for a 2-week trip that included stops in Italy, Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine. All of this is about manipulating the public using celebrities, and these celebrities will not give up their lifestyle, but they demand you give it up. You give up your, driving your 10-year-old car to work that doesn't even pay you enough to eat the organic that you buy in supermarkets that's not organic, and pay your bills to heat your home. Here, summary and keywords. What is this? This is celebrities and climate change. Okay, they have white papers, surveys, they have workshops, the use of celebrities And it's all to manipulate the public because, well, yeah, the masses are so celebrity conscious. They're so like, wow, oh my God, it's Katy Perry. It's Katy Perry. I'll listen to her about climate change. Really? Since the mid-2000s, entertainment celebrities have played increasingly prominent roles in the cultural politics of climate change, ranging from high-profile speeches at UN climate conferences and social media interactions with their fans to producing and appearing in documentaries about climate change that help give meaning to and communicate this issue to a wider audience. The role afforded to celebrities as climate change communicators is an outcome of a political environment, not scientific, political environment increasingly influenced by public relations and attuned toward the media's representation of political ideas, policies, and sentiments, not science. No. If what the IPCC was saying about global warming, if it was true, none of this would be taking place. It's because they keep coming out with the fraudulent data and a whole lot of scientists that you don't hear on mainstream media because, well, you got to believe in climate change because the United Nations is transforming the world. Everything is going sustainability, you know, because the elite are taking over the entire planet, making, you know, the ordinary their slave. They're reshaping the world into mega regions. And, well, those who are really wealthy, they just don't want to share, you know, those areas, the rural areas where a lot of Americans are living. They don't want to share. They want you off that land. They want the land for themselves. Celebrities act. They act as representatives of mass publics operating within centers of elite political power. At the same time, celebrities represent the environmental concerns of their audiences. That is, they embody the sentiments of their audiences on the political stage. It is in this context that celebrities have gained their authority as political, social, and environmental experts. Really? And the political performances of celebrities provide, political performances of celebrities provide important ways to engage voters and audiences with climate change action. Celebrities offer novel engagements with climate change that move beyond scientific data and facilitate more emotional and visceral connections with climate change in the public's everyday lives. They work to shape how audiences and publics ought to feel about climate change in efforts to get them to act or change their behaviors. But they're not changing their behaviors. Celebrities acting as our emotional witnesses. Greater public attention. They bring greater public attention. And that also builds up their own personal capital as echo warriors. Framing for audiences the emotionalized problems. Celebrities politicize emotions. They use celebrities to manipulate the public. You know, Harrison Ford. These people disgust me. Harrison Ford, climate hypocrite, one of Hollywood's most famous climate crusaders. He owns multiple extravagant homes, plus a reported 12 private planes, 9 motorcycles, 6 gasoline-powered automobiles. His private plane collection includes 2 gas-guzzling corporate jets. And even through his opulent lifestyle depends upon copious amounts of fossil fuel energy. He's an actor. trained to project emotions he doesn't actually feel. So Ford concluded his speech at the 2019 Global Climate Action Summit with, "We all suffer the effects of climate change. So let's turn off our phones, let's roll up our sleeves, and let's kick this monster's ass. Yeah, yeah," getting on his private jet. At the beginning of his performance, he barked this out: "Stop giving power to people who don't believe in science. Or worse than that, pretend they don't believe in science for their own self-interest." Yes, the psychopaths, the narcissists, project onto others their own failings. Self-interest? Hypocrite? It's up to you and me to act now to face the greatest moral crisis of our time. So what's he doing on a personal level? To act now? Other than lecturing his moral lessers absolutely nothing. His multiple real estate holdings include a 14,000 square foot mega mansion in the heart of one of the most exclusive areas of Los Angeles. He owns a magnificent Jackson Hole, Wyoming estate, the plans for which he sketched out in Paris while working on a film. With Roman Polanski. Unfortunately for the planet, his excessive use of fossil fuel energy isn't limited to when he's on the ground. He flies all over the world at the drop of a hat in CO2 spewing private jets. Outspoken supporter of stratospheric carbon taxes that would prevent ordinary Americans from taking a commercial flight to go on a family vacation. This paragon of environmental virtue rewards himself by flying as often as he wants. These people think their fans are just useless eaters, scum. You think Harrison Ford cares about you? I don't get it. I do not get it. He boasted this: "Flying is like good music. It elevates the spirit, and it's an exhilarating, freedom. I'm so passionate about flying. I often fly up the coast for a cheeseburger." Oh, but now he's a vegetarian. And you think that's true? Eco celebs emit 10,000 times more CO2 than average person. These people are disgusting. They are repulsive. And they lie incessantly. Media hype, Davos, climate change focus. All of these climate change summit meetings, the COP conferences, all of them. You will see the celebrities, government officials, the delegations, they all, while the top tier, they fly privately, emitting far more CO2 than the average person. But yeah, the world is going to end in 10 or 12 years unless we do something. At what point do people get real? At what point do people get real? When do people get real? All links are below.